Hey, Taebyn, you remember that AD episode from a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, with even with all that drinking, I felt freaking great the next day. No hangover, nothing. And you know why?
I mean, I have no idea what those things are, but I do want to know why.
Well, because I took Broad electrolyte vitamins. They're like super Gatorade in a vitamin. Anyway, I felt so great the next day that I emailed them and I said to them, hey man, great product. And you know what? The CEO emails me back to say, thanks.
Oh, nice.
Love to hear from fans. What are you guys up to? And bam, just like that, Broad electrolyte vitamins becomes a supporter of this show. I mean, I know.
That's pretty great. Thank you, Broad.
Thank you, Broad. I mean, who likes being hungover or dehydrated? So guess what? We've got a special deal for all our listeners. Go to Broad Electrolyte Vitamins website at broad.co. That's BRODE.co. There's no M. And use the code BFFT at checkout to get 25% off your order with no limit to your order size. The more you order, the more you save. And on top of that, Broad will donate 25% of the proceeds from every order using the code BFFT back to the show to help support its production. So it's a win-win-win for everyone.
That's awesome.
So that's Broad, BRODE.co.
It really is. I mean, Broad gets stuff. We get things. You Furs get things. It's kind of great.
And remember, that's BRODE.co. and code BFFT at checkout. Hangovers are the worst, and this stuff is the best. So go to broad.co and use code BFFT. Pros and cons. Yes, cons with pros. Those are inmates that write poetry, right? Pros with cons. Cons with pros? No? Crickets right off the bat? Really?
Duh.
Wow, that's a heck of a way to start the first episode of the new season, Taebyn. What are you thinking?
Oh yeah, let's try that again then. Let's start the new season correctly.
Let's start the cons with pros and cons. That's inmates that write poetry. Those are cons with pros, right?
Ow, my sides. Okay, our season is now correctly started.
Wow, that is terrible jokes. Taebyn, guess what? Happy anniversary. It's our anniversary.
Are we married?
Well, it's our second anniversary of our show, which launches the third season.
That's
so 2 years
right.
We've been doing it. This is our third season launching. We are here, ready to go. And I have to say, in fact, I actually happened to notice that the other day too, that our first actual recording was 2 years ago from the release of this episode. So our first episode was recorded April 30th, 2020, and this episode is released April 30th, 2022. I did math. I did that. You did calendar math.
I did.
Calendar math? That's kind of hard to do. Calendar math is difficult. Have you ever tried calendar math? It's insane.
You know what's even harder? Calendar math, because you have to move before the cheese hits the Julian year. I don't know, something like that. I failed.
Sure. Absolutely. Wonderful. Well, you know what? We're going to get this show on the road.
Crickets.
We're going to wear those crickets now. The music's been playing in the background, so we should just turn it up a little bit and hear the opening credits and start our show. What do you say?
I say let's listen to the melodies of the beginning of the season.
This is Bearly Furcasting, featuring Taebyn and Injured Nerves audio production. Well, hello.
We are starting this season amazingly.
Great, just great. Hello, greetings, and Moobarkfluff salutations to all our friends in the Podiverse. I am Lord Bearly, and with me is Sir Taebyn of Fluffington. How are you, Sir Taebyn?
Well, I am wagging royally, I guess.
Wagging royally. I love it.
Sure, I don't know. So yes, I'm great. And things, and I think that's all I have to say about that. But more importantly, how are you, Mr. Lord Bearly?
I'm not too bad. And it's either Lord or Mr. It's not, you can't be both. So
Mr. Lord or Lord Mr. No, I guess
no. Mr. or Lord, but not both. You can't be Mr. Lord. Unless your last name is Lord and you're not a Lord, and then it's Mr. Lord. And now I'm going off the rails. But you know what I talked about last week? We had a guest star raccoon on the show.
It's the whole like put the spaces in the right place thing. Yeah.
That's right. And a couple of days after we recorded the interview, he tested positive for COVID and has been in bed ever since.
Oh, I hope he's doing better now, Mr.
I hope
Star.
he's doing better. By the time this releases, hopefully he'll have a couple of weeks under his belt and under his covers, and he will be feeling much better. He said it's kind of a moderate case, so he's really kind of miserable. He can't smell, he can't taste.
It must be Delta then. Maybe.
I don't know. Be Delta, not United. He's flying Delta with the COVID. That's what's going on right now.
Did you hear about that? That like Delta and United and a lot of airlines there's no mask requirements and stuff for like 12 or 15 different airlines or something?
Well, the FAA, the COVID people who's at the Center for Disease Control, that's it. They lifted the federal mask mandates, and so you don't have to wear a mask anymore in the airports or on public transportation.
Oh,
now,
I didn't know it was a federal mandate that they. Okay.
Yes, it was a federal mandate, and then the problem with that is it can be overrode by individual municipalities, like the city of Salem, Oregon, where I live. They're still requiring masks on public transportation. So if you're taking the bus or a train, you have to wear a mask, even though the federal mandate says you don't have to. So,
well, I mean, if you, I'm not even going to try. Yeah, actually, I'm going to try. Okay.
Give it a shot.
If you rode with your pal municipally, then you would be me. I'm done.
Well,
this was a great first episode to the season. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you on season 4. Thanks for coming along. That was it. That was the entire episode, the entire season right there.
That was stupid. Okay, that's my fault.
Let's get to let's get to the past today. I want to know.
First, I have a thing to point out, which I'll point out again later in the episode.
But you're not a pointer.
I'm not.
How are you going to point something out if you're not a pointer?
I don't know.
Okay. See, I threw you a conundrum right off the bat.
So maybe I'll border collie it instead.
Yes, border collie it. Tell us all about it.
That's how I will call it. Well, I'll only say that this is the last day of April. And do you remember what special thing April is?
What special thing April is? I do not know what special thing besides tax month.
And tax month.
And weed month.
Even better than that is April is Math and Statistics Awareness Month.
Oh, I did not know that. You did not point that out this year.
I realized that just the other day, actually, that I did not point this out this year. And I realized a few days ago, wait, we talked about this last year. There was something. What was it? April is something. And like, oh, yeah, it does. So I'm a little behind the times. But yes, April is Math and Statistics Awareness Month. And I'm saying it today, the last day of April, so I'm not late. I'm just... You're not
the late Sir Taebyn. No. That's good. That's
anyway,
good.
So now you can talk about past today, because I just talked about how I am late. Not late, but
all right.
Hi.
So the past today, I want to know, did you tell your honey the 2 jokes from last week?
I did half my assignment. I did one of them.
Which one did you tell him?
I told him the night one.
The night one?
No, wait. Was that one of... Where are my options?
Well, the options
the night.
were...
Night is one of them.
Yeah. Once a king, always a king, but once a night could be too much.
Yes.
Did he get it when you told it to him?
Wait, no, that's not the one I told him. I told him the car washing one.
About washing the car with your son?
Yes. I told him that, and it was awesome.
And he laughed. That's good.
And he liked it, and it was good. Wow, that was a lot of work to answer your question. Season 3 is going to be amazing. Oh yeah, so are you first? In case you didn't catch that, this is don't catch that because you might have to be stuck in bed for a long time. Anyway, this is the first. My cow, what's going on? This is the first episode of season 3 of Bearly Furcasting featuring Taebyn. Oh yeah, and so my name is Taebyn. I'm a pup. Bark bark. And that. Wow, this is an exciting roundabout. Keep talking, Bearly. Don't let me talk anymore. This is not good.
Okay, so we also talked about the singing telegram, and you said this is a singing telegram. Bang! And obviously, I figured out what it was because I dropped the clip in last week. So there you go.
Oh, I hadn't heard that yet. Okay.
That was from Clue.
I am your singing telegram.
It was.
The movie Clue.
Was.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. I knew you would figure it out because I know you like that show. I'm sure you like that show, right? Yeah, it's such a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It is such a good show. And then you said last week, for whatever reason, you said, Ich bin eine Klinke. And you thought that Klinke was doorknob. Well, it's not.
Someone lied to me.
Tuknaf means doorknob. Klinke means Paul. Now, do you know what a Paul is?
Well,
not that you're appalled, but
it's either a person or when you L your palsy, you Paul. I don't know.
True, but it's spelled Pawl. And I'm going to guess, just off the top of my head, that your hubby probably knows, your hubby honey, probably knows what a Paul is. Pawl.
Oh, really?
Why
would he know that?
Does. Well, he's a smart fella. We should pause and you should go get him and ask him that question.
He is indisposed?
He's indisposed.
So I can't go get him right now.
He's indisposed. Where's disposed? Is that a city somewhere?
It's in New England, I think. He didn't tell me, but he just said, I'm going to indisposed.
I'm going to dispose.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
When are you going to be back? I don't know.
All right. So, okay. Well, a pawl, Pawl, is a pivoted, curved bar or lever whose free end engages with the teeth of a cogwheel or ratchet.
This is a lot of words that are strung
so that
together.
The wheel or ratchet can only turn or move one way. So as the wheel turns, it can't run the other way because the little thing
it's got those little
place.
spiky things going there. Okay, no, I got a picture in my... Yeah. No, there's those are neat things.
So you should ask your hubby when he gets back from disposed whether or not he knows what a pawl is.
Okay,
Pawl. Yes.
I love all the words that are happening right now. It's pretty neat.
So that's what a Klinke is a pawl. So when you said that you were Ich bin eine Klinke, that means you were a cogwheel with a lever on it.
Maybe I was at the moment and I just didn't realize.
Maybe. Now, obviously, it says Klinke because that's probably the sound it makes. It probably goes Klinke, Klinke, Klinke.
See, so
Klinke,
maybe I did know
Klinke.
what I was talking about, but probably not. But maybe the world would never know.
The world will never know.
So challenge for furs, right?
Does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? The world may never know.
Anyway.
Do you remember that advertisement?
I don't.
Really?
Mr. Cow.
Yes?
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know. I always end up biting. Ask Mr. Fox, for he's much cleverer than I.
Mr. Fox, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Why don't you ask Mr. Turtle, for he's been around a lot longer than I. Me, I bite.
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl, for he is the wisest of us all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's a smart owl.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Did you live under a rock somewhere?
I do. It's indisposed is where the
rock
indisposed.
is. It's rock indisposed.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So
you went all English when you said that. Do that again.
You went rock indisposed. So,
yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yes. Right then, do you have any past today?
Just one.
Just one?
So last week, season 2, episode 52, the last episode of season 2, dun dun
Yes.
dun.
Uh-huh.
You weren't sure if Matt Baum that we talked about from season 2, episode 1. So every furry can go back and listen to Matt Baum, very prolific news writer and story, and just all over, very prolific from Seattle. Anyway, go back to season 2, episode 1 if you want to. Oh, wow, that was a whole season ago that we had him on the show.
A whole season ago, yes.
I just put 2 and Fluff together. Anyway, you weren't sure if he was a furry, and indeed, I went back and listened to the episode, and indeed he is. He's written, by the way, for the past few years about furry articles for The Stranger magazine and Out magazine and many, many others. At the time, his persona was in progress. It was a bunny. I don't know where it is now. Well, back then it was in progress, so maybe it's indisposed now. We don't know where it is. Maybe my honeys found it.
It went from progress to disposed. There we are.
It went 5,000 miles in 5 days. It was pretty amazing. And you were thinking of Katie Edwards. He's the one that did not have a persona, but we had Tater make him little art and gave it to him, and he liked it. Anyway, that's my pass today.
Well, that brings us up to the May birthdays, because as we know, this is coming out on the 30th of April, which means May is right around the corner, or after midnight. And we have 2 birthdays that are celebrating in May. We have Jub
Only
Jub.
2? Wow, everyone else has their birthdays in every part of the year?
Nobody else has a birthday in May, just these 2 people.
Wow, that's amazing. It's an amazing month.
Right. So we have Jub Jub on May 7th. They're going to celebrate that while they were at the Furry Week at Atlanta.
Wow. Oh, that's like they're just throwing a FurCon for his birthday. That's like amazing.
That was amazing for them. Yes. I wish somebody would throw me a FurCon for my birthday.
I know.
And then another fur that's on our chat, Rhett, his birthday, their birthday, I don't know if it's a hit or not, but their birthday is on May 20th. So happy birthday to those furs listening.
Yes, happy birthday to both you furs. We hope you have a good one, especially... Well, I mean, Jub Jub's going to have an amazing time because they're throwing a FurCon for his birthday, so that's amazing. And Red, I hope someone throws something at you, too, for your birthday.
Throw something at you. Wow. A water balloon or some paint or something. Just throw it at them. Here you go. Have something on your birthday.
Have some paint. Have a leaf. Here's a wallaby. I'll just throw a wallaby with a sock.
With a sock on it. There you go. All right.
And, I really, since it's Math and Statistics Month, any of you statistic furs out there, like, what's the probability that only 2 furs, like, there are only 2 birthdays in May, that like no one else has a birthday in May. No. What's the probability of that? So that's, I guess, my April Awareness Month challenge or something.
So one of the things that we wanted to start at this season was furs sharing with us things about their hometown that are odd or quirky. And so a couple of furs reached out, and the first one was by TikTok, good friend of the fur or the pod, TikTok. He was bringing up Portland, Oregon, which in itself is odd and quirky, just the whole city. In fact, they have a huge sign downtown that says, "Keep Portland weird." But
I didn't know they actually had a sign, because I knew that was like a thing, keep Portland weird, but they actually have a sign?
Oh, it's huge. It's a huge mural.
How did I say, where is it? Do you remember? I can't recall this.
It's down by the original Voodoo Donuts, I believe.
Downtown?
Downtown. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right off of Burnside.
I'm sure I must have seen this because I've been to Portland before, and it seems like some big thing that says that. It seems like you wouldn't miss that. So that was a very interesting thing to hear.
If you don't go to that part of town, you won't see it. I mean, you really have to go to that part of town. So it's not like it's so big that you can see it everywhere in town.
Like from New Hampshire, you can see it.
That would be a really big sign if you could see it everywhere from Portland. But
yeah. I bet I could Google it and say, "Show me that mural," and I'll see it.
Absolutely. And then, but the one thing that TikTok wanted to highlight about Portland is the Unipiper. Have you heard of the Unipiper?
I'm just gonna say no.
Okay, well, the Unipiper is a guy that rides all over Portland on a unicycle, wearing a kilt and playing the bagpipes.
Oh, really? Like like once a month on the first of every month he does that?
Nope. Every day. Rain or shine.
Every day? Like
every day.
So is this
Spring,
like just
summer,
a
winter,
week?
fall.
Okay, so it's
every
like
day.
years on end. Every day he does this?
Every day. Yep.
Whoa, that's like a lot of work. I don't know what to think about
He's
that.
got to be fit. I mean, if you ride a unicycle all day around Portland playing the bagpipes while wearing a kilt, that's pretty impressive, I have to say.
There's a lot of things to go on. There's a lot of going on. I don't think I can unpack all that's going on right there.
Well, you don't want to unpack his kilt because you never know what you're going to find under there. So,
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'll take your word for it because you are the kilt fur.
I do wear kilts. Yeah, I'm not the only kilt fur. I've seen several other kilt furs around the cons. So,
I mean, have you started like? Have you started a kilt fur Telegram chat or something?
I have not, but I'm guessing there's one out there. I'll check it to see if there might be a kilt fur.
You should, and if you can't find one, do it.
I should start
one.
That
is your challenge for you, Bearly.
Yeah, one more Telegram chat to watch.
Menacingly, I was very menacing about that. You do that now, Bearly.
You do that now, or you shall be held accountable for every fur out there for the
and
rest
not
of your
only accountable, but accountable.
Accountable, all right. And then Captain Archer, another good friend of the pod. He says he grew up in a town that decorates.
He grew up in a town. That's like very good
That's
for
very
him.
strange, right? It decorates every Halloween as Halloweentown from the movie. I believe it was what was that name of that movie? Famous movie, Jack Skellington with Halloween. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah, Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. His entire town decorates as if the town is Halloweentown. Now, you know what? I bet that's not the right Halloweentown. He didn't specify, but there was a Disney series called Halloweentown.
Oh, was it? Is it an old series?
Yeah. So I'm wondering, Captain Archer, correct us after you hear this episode. Write to us and let us know whether it was Halloweentown from Nightmare Before Christmas or Halloweentown from the series from Disney.
Disney.
All right.
Where Mickey goes around as a ghost riding a unicycle in a Barbie suit.
Wow. Okay, Disney's going to sue us for that one. So,
or give us money because we just plugged them for a new idea for Mickey.
No, they would take our money from. That's not
if very nice.
If we say the word Disney without them giving permission, they get mad. So, we'll get a watch like 6 months from now. I'll get a cease and desist and say, take that out of your podcast. You can't say the word Disney. It's not yours. Anyway.
Okay.
Wouldn't be the first time I got a cease and desist letter from Disney. I've gotten 2 already.
Okay. Okay.
Not from the podcast.
We proved it
Not
right
from
there.
the podcast. From other things. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And going on to more weird hometown stuff. Ski, who's been on the show a couple of times, he grew up in a town in Wisconsin that eventually became Lake Wobegon. If you remember or ever listened to Garrison Keillor and the Prairie Home Companion.
No.
And he would always talk about Lake Wobegon, where the men are men and the sheep are nervous. That was their tagline. And he said they are famous for their Spunk Festival and their Testicle Festival.
That's so Bearly, ask me what I ask me for all of my thoughts on that. Like just ask me for all of my thoughts.
Please give me all of your thoughts on the Spunk Festival and the Testicle Festival.
And there you have it. That's
the
official word on that.
The Spunk
that
Festival,
gives me woe-begons.
That's woe begone. And that is everything in the quirky hometown. So Furza, you're listening to this. If you have something quirky about your hometown, send us a message on Telegram or on Furcasting.com at gmail.com, and we shall include it on our podcast about the weird, odd things in your town. Like Taebyn going woo 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 in his hometown. So there we go.
Maybe I am my own weird hometown.
maybe you are. Maybe you are. So let's get to media. And I want you to start this week, Taebyn. Tell us all about your media
this week.
Yeah,
I'm going to start it with a mood off pump and one of those crank thingies that they used to start cars with back in the 1950s. What were those called?
They were called a crank, and it was the 20s and 30s.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
So I'm going to start the wink with one of
the wink.
Oh,
wink,
my
wink,
cow.
say no more, nudge, nudge.
Nudge, nudge. Oh, that's
nudge,
from,
nudge,
I know, that's from Monty Python.
Snap, snap, grin, grin, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of myself. So I've just been, I talked about recently that I started rewatching Beastars season 2 during lunchies. Mm-hmm. It's so good. So I've continued watching that. Mentioned we started watching the current season of Elite. Well, we're still watching that. We're still watching Great News. Woo! And then we watched the next episode of Young Sheldon. So we're at the point where we're all caught up. We have to wait a week to watch the next episode because they're not done with the current season. They're still putting out episodes once a week. So we have to wait till Saturday. Well, I think that are released on Fridays, but we watch them Saturdays during lunch. We have to wait. Anyway, that's where we are. And that's my watching for the week.
You're watching, you say. So good. We watched, my hubby and I watched The Batman, the new movie that was out in theaters and then it came to HBO Max.
Oh.
It's a long movie. It's 2.5 hours long or 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Is it a Marvel or who's it put out by?
No, but Batman is DC.
Oh, is it put out by DC or who's it put out by?
It's not put out by Marvel because if it was Marvel, it wouldn't be Batman. So Batman is a DC comic. This is another retelling of the Batman story. It's, of course, very dark. I have come to the conclusion that Gotham City never has sunshine. It's either raining or dark. That's all they ever do there.
It's true. Did you ever watch the series Gotham?
Yes, it was always rainy and dark there, too.
It was there, too. It was a really good show. But yes, it was always raining and dark.
And dark. It was either rainy during the day and cloudy and overcast or dark at night and raining.
Or both.
So,
definitely both. There's a lot of both.
Yep. And then, of course, I tuned into another episode of Great News. You mentioned Great News. And so I'm watching that now. I watched the episode where the anchorman had his eyes surged. And so he was having to be blind. And the intern mother was trying to take care of him. Yeah, that was kind of fun. And And
it's a cute show.
It is a cute show. And I tried to catch up on the Goldbergs. I think got 3 or 4 more episodes before it comes to the end of the season or to the end of what they've released so far. So I've got that working on. And then
and so you're on season 9 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
whatever it is, their final season.
We got done with season 5 or 6, I think. We're definitely have a few seasons left to go. So,
okay,
but I did know that season 9 was the final season. So at least we know, you know how it is when they don't tell you that it's the final season and you're watching it and you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to watch all the many 10,000 other seasons they're going to put out. And then it's done and you're like, oh, well, poop on that.
Then I'm on season 3, episode 4 of Yellowstone. So
Is it still all violent and stuff?
Very, very, very violent. There's a lot of things that happen and they give you backstory sometimes. And the latest backstory, I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of dirt going on in the background there. Woo. Yeah, it's a dark movie. Or show, I should say. Dark show. And
yeah.
But,
so I have to go back to so Batman, was it good?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it? Do you recommend it?
I did like it. It was, like I said, it was a long movie, but you didn't realize that it was a long movie until it was over and you're like, wow, I've been sitting here for 2.5 hours. And
so it's pretty good then.
And now it's midnight and I should have gone to bed 2.5 hours ago. So
that's how those things work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how those things work. No, I would definitely give that at least a 20 bear nub wiggles.
No, very worth it. Well, and when you said it's it's one of those shows that you don't realize it's 2.5 hours till it's over. It's like that to me. That says it's a good movie.
It is a good movie. So yeah, that was one of those things along that line.
Bark.
And now I would like to mention once again one of our sponsors, Broad.co, Broad Electrolyte Vitamins. Take them before you travel. Take them before you drink. Take them, or alcohol. Drink before you drink alcohol. Take them before you do any type of, heavy activity like exercise, going for a run, going for a bicycling, whatever you're going to do. If you take them, they'll help
or listening to this pod.
Or listening to this podcast. That's a heavy lift right there. And it will help you stay on top of your game. It will help you stay on top of being hydrated, and you can take it with any drink, and it will make you feel better in the long run. That's Broad.co, no M, BRODE.co. Listeners of our podcast, if they go to Broad.co and place an order, they get 25% off by using the code BFFT at checkout.
Is it just like one order? So if they just order one thing and there's a limit and that's it?
Nope.
Oh,
Entire
really?
order. And every time you go in until the end of July, if you enter BFFT at checkout, you'll get 25% off your entire order.
Wow. And you can just keep doing that.
Keep doing that. Yep. Over and over and over and over again.
So you first, not a joke, because I know what you think about this. Got to be a joke. No, this is legit.
It's a real thing.
I think it's a word. So go try it out. Try him out at your next con. Bearly has tried him himself, and my order's in the mail, so I haven't yet. But Bearly has and swears by it. So try him out.
Yes, and we will have some samples for you at BLFC if you're there. So come by and see us.
That's true.
Yes.
So you can try it out yourself.
Try it out yourself and see just how wonderful they are. And now, Taebyn, it's been a while. I want to play some this or that with you. How do you sound about? How do you feel about that?
I feel like we haven't done it in a while, so
we haven't. Yeah.
Do that or this.
Okay.
We'll find out.
Do that or this. All right. Okay, so here we go. I have a book, 3001 and one. This or that question. And we're going to ask.
We'll find out.
Ask the next 5 or 6. Here we go. Taebyn.
Oh.
Would you rather be rich and ugly or poor and good looking?
Ooh, well, like the Unipiper.
The Unipiper, yes.
I couldn't actually, because apparently he's indisposed, and then he's going to progress next. I don't know.
Progress. Yes.
I want to be rich and ugly because that way I can get all the bacon strips that I want.
Good call.
Because I am a pup.
All right. Would you rather have weird dreams every night or never dream again?
I think I'm going to go for the weird dreams every night because, as calming as it might be to never dream again, it's still it feels like that would take something away from my life. It's part of life experiences to dream and enhance the vitality of who you are. And part of that is dreaming and letting your psyche, your psychology, your conscious, your unconscious take hold and proliferate and expand and allow itself to be uninhibited. And I think that's an important part of life. So in the end, I'll go with part A, Bob.
Okay. Okay, part A. Weird dreams every night. All right. Would you rather go to a fancy place that's boring or a dodgy place that's fun?
Well, I'm just feeling, let's go to the dodgy place that's fun. Let's have some fun and see the craziness in the dodgy doggy place.
Well, absolutely. I would always go to the fun place as opposed to the boring place.
Well, okay. There is that.
Yeah, let's go to why would you go to a boring place? If you know it's boring, why would you go there?
Even if it's fancy, I'll spend $1,000 on this meal and sit here and look at the leaf.
The paint. Yeah.
The paint. I will watch the mildew grow while I eat my little tiny cabbage that is my entire meal. Let's not do that.
So would you rather ask for help or figure it out on yourself?
Well, It really depends on if I'm going to figure it out on myself or for myself.
Why don't you figure it out for yourself, not on yourself?
That's a whole other thing. I guess it depends on what it is. So if I had to choose one, though, I'll figure it out on myself. We'll do the best of both worlds.
Okay. So you could do calculations on your arm. So write it down. There you go.
Oof.
Oof. Okay. Would you rather stay lost or ask for directions?
Ask for directions. I hate being lost. I mean, that was a no-brainer. I mean, come on.
All right. So if you were not married and you were dating again, would you date somebody with long hair or short hair?
Short fur or long fur?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually interesting this comes up. So I'm going to do a little digression because, it comes up. So I mentioned I was rewatching season 2 of Beastars.
Yes.
And for any fur out there that has seen season 2, it's not a spoiler. It's just, a thing that happens. At one point, Legoshi, he doesn't get a fur cut, but he gets shorter fur as opposed to his longer fur.
Okay.
And of course, there's a little bit of I wouldn't say side story, but there's a little thing about he has short hair now. Oh, is he more handsome or what? Blah. Anyway, so I really had no point to say that other than I had that memory that I'm watching. I just watched that episode again where that happens just the other day. And so ask me if that has anything to do with my decision.
Does that have anything to do with your decision?
No, it does not. And thanks for asking.
Okay. Well, you're quite welcome. All right.
Actually, that's a lie. Actually, it does have something to do because if I think of Legoshi, I like him lots better with longer fur than shorter fur. So if there's that possibility of dating Legoshi, I'm going to have to go with the longer fur.
All right. But
that
of course,
was a long way to go to get to that answer, but I felt it intensely, deeply necessary.
Right. But the thing is, if you were able to date Legoshi, you wouldn't care whether he had long hair, short hair, or no hair.
Well, see, that's a good point. So
it's a good point. Yeah.
Everything I just said, it doesn't actually matter. So, because it doesn't matter, but there you go.
Okay. Now, this next segment that I'm going to start this season, and I'm not sure how many of these we'll have, depending on just how stupid things get, but...
Well, I am here in the show, so that, it's constant, right?
This is going to be called, well, that's just stupid.
Well, stupidest.
Are you stupid or something?
Stupid is, stupid does, sir.
All right. So, here we go. Tucker Carlson, yes, the Fox News host, he is advocating exposing your testicular region to UV light in order to increase testosterone. Mike Tyson cannot sell ear-shaped marijuana gummies in Colorado because of a state law stating that pot gummies can't be shaped like human parts. Of course, he's referencing his 1997 fight against Evander Holyfield, where he bit off Evander Holyfield's ear. New Orleans is finally repealing a rule in school districts that jazz was banned, and it was banned since 1922, and it's about time since they never really enforced it. Fezco, the gay dog, was adopted by a gay couple. Guess what? They renamed him Oscar after Oscar Wilde, who was famously gay. The doggo was dropped at the North Carolina shelter for being gay. Apparently, he humped another male dog. And no one has reported on how the other dog felt, however. Maybe they were a couple? Who knows? And finally, of course, Rudy Giuliani was the Masked Singer. Yes, he was. He sang Bad to the Bone, and it will forever be tainted with his dripping hair color. The reveal prompted one of the judges, Kim Jeong, to walk off the stage angrily and unsure whether he will return to the show at all. And that is my That's Just Stupid for the week.
Stupid is as stupid as.
That's right.
Glad I could help.
Yes. No, things. I started reading news this week and all these things popped up. I'm like, oh no, I've got to talk about all these. They're not necessarily furry related, but
there's a lot of them,
stupid.
and you just got to do it.
It's just stupid. I mean, really? Rudy Giuliani? Really? Okay. I feel better now.
And I had heard about that. I don't know remember if I mentioned it on the show or not, but I had heard about the Rudy Giuliani thing I don't know whenever it happened, like 4 months ago or something. But I couldn't find any clips on YouTube or the internet. It was just like a thing that people were talking about. But now it is out there. I see that it is out there, and you can watch the actual clip. So I haven't yet, but I'm gonna have to do that. So that's I don't know if the word is exciting for me, but it is.
No, it's not exciting.
It's not.
It's not.
Oh, have you seen it?
Oh yeah, I watched the clip.
Oh, you did.
Apparently, it just aired. Apparently, it just aired, and that's why they.
Oh, that's why we hadn't seen it yet. Okay,
you hadn't seen it yet. Yeah, so
error on the side of caution.
It just aired on not even watching that show. I don't even know why people watch that show, to be honest with you. But
it's because of the one episode where Chris Daugherty. Let me say his name.
Easy for you to say.
It is not, as a matter of fact.
No, it's not.
Daughtry. Chris Daughtry, who is actually, we love Chris. We listen to him all the time. Oh my cow, he's so great. Anyway, Chris Daughtry was Rottweiler, and I forget what song he did, but he was on Masked Singer and did that. And it was, when he did it, everyone's guessing who is it, and people were guessing either it was Chris or Daryl Hall or John one of the two Hall. No, I think it was Daryl Hall. They were guessing. I tweeted about this. It's like, no, this is no way that this is Chris, because it just didn't sound like him. And then some people were saying, yeah, whoever it is, definitely a furry. And I'm like, I don't know, but it's not Chris. And then it was revealed that it was Chris. And I tweeted, admitted it. It's like, so all you furs, I'm sorry. I was completely wrong. It was Chris. Anyway.
All right, then.
Anyway, that's a very, like, in the furry news and stuff, like, as far as furries go, that was a very awesome episode, because all the furries were like, look at this big, huge Roddy singing. It's amazing. Anyway.
Well, that's a nice segue into our next segment, which is Furries in the News.
Swin eat ni surf.
Really?
That's all I got. That's all I got.
What's that? Okay, that's all he's got, folks. Maybe tune in next week and he'll tell you what that meant. Sounds like he was speaking Klingon. But
what is it? Kabla, which means
Kapla.
Good luck.
Yes.
Kapla. That's right.
Kapla.
See, I don't even know that. First, I get Clinker wrong. Then I get Kapla wrong. Then I get the.
At least you didn't try and speak Dothraki from Game of Thrones.
The horse is with you.
Yes, the horse is with you.
I did it.
I spoke right.
Dothraki. Okay.
All right. So Furries in the News. The DreamWorks movie The Bad Guys is opened on April 22nd, only in theaters. Remember theaters, Taebyn? Remember theaters? Remember what theaters are?
I thought that I dreamt about something called a theater. That's an actual thing that happened?
It is an actual thing. They used to be really prolific. Really? Prior to the COVID thing, and then
am I dreaming right now? I think you're making this up. This isn't true.
No. It's they've got this huge screen at the front of the room, like maybe 20 or 30. No, it's bigger than that. It's like 60 or 70 feet,
and that's amazing.
Wide and like 30 feet high. And there's a whole bunch of seats that you sit in and watch this big screen, and they play a movie on it.
They play a movie on it? That sounds like awesome.
It is. It is.
Imagine watching Zootopia on that or something like that. Wouldn't that be awesome?
And they have a snack bar where you can plop down $50 and get a bucket of popcorn.
That is so awesome. You can plop down $50 and get like 5 popcorns of popcorn, like just little popcorn.
Yeah, like 5 kernels. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
But The Bad Guys it opened on April 22nd, and it's a very furry-centric movie. It's got the big bad wolf in it, which is voiced by Sam Rockwell. A shark, voiced by Craig Robinson. A piranha.
Is he on the left?
Yes, he's the left shark. Yes.
Nice.
Voiced by Craig Robinson. A piranha, voiced by Anthony Ramos. A snake, voiced by Mark Maron. And a tarantula, voiced by Aquafina. Now,
there's a lot. There's a lot
going on there.
Tarantula is scary. And Aquafina, that's scary too. But all that other stuff, I like that the the big bad wolf thing. I'm gonna have to check this out. I had not heard of this.
Check it out. Yeah, it's a really good. It's looks really good, and the trailer made it look really good. So give it a shot. Go take a look at it. I'm sure it'll be on streaming networks probably in 6 or 7 weeks if you want to wait. But if you want to go plunk down $30 to watch the movie and another $50 for popcorn and a pop, go for it.
Will it be on itself?
On itself.
Because
I don't know
that was, would you rather figure it out on yourself?
Oh, yes. There you are. And of course, a good friend of the podcast who is promising that she will be on episode 3 of season 3, Cassidy Civet, is going to be on Canada's Got Talent. Now, there's no word as to whether she won or not, but she's going to be on Canada's Got Talent.
Well, it might have happened already. It's hard to say what's happening there, but
it's
Cassidy
Canadian
was
television.
Or will be on Canada's Got Talent. There's a picture. Okay, let's start
she
over.
Can come
and
on
say,
and tell us.
There is a picture of
Yes.
Cassidy on
Yes.
Canada's Got Talent, and we have
Yes.
no idea what it means. Maybe it was photoshopped. It was probably photoshopped, actually.
Maybe.
And we
Hard
have
to
no
say.
idea. But
Yeah.
maybe Cassidy will let us know more when she's on the show.
Absolutely. And now it's time for Miles on Movies with your movie maven, Miles Opossum. Welcome to the show, Miles.
Hey, thank you for having me.
It's Possum that you're joining our podcast. What movie are you reviewing for your debut review?
Yeah, I was going to review Turning Red,
All right.
which is the newest Pixar release.
All right, well, tell us all about it.
First, I just wanted to give a brief rundown of how I was going to do this. So I'm just going to give a quick synopsis, a few of my thoughts about the film, and then I'm going to rate it on what I call the Scream scale.
The Scream scale, awesome, okay.
Yeah, so it's a 0 through 10 rating, with a level 10 Scream being the highest possible rating.
All right.
So level 10 Scream is the best Scream, best rating you can have. Wanted to talk about, like you said, Turning Red. It's a coming-of-age film that really just explored internal conflict that a lot of people face when they start adopting their own beliefs that might stray from those maybe above us, or like our parents, grandparents, etc. The catch of this film particularly is that anytime the protagonist, May, is in conflict with her emotions, surrounding specifically her relationship with her mother, she turns into a giant red panda. This makes working through her emotions extra difficult. She cannot hide them from others, and as easily as you or I could probably when we were growing up experiencing the same thing. I think the film does a beautiful job exploring the different aspects of puberty, middle school crushes, friendships, self-expression, and yes, even boy band obsessions. But what I really enjoy about Turning Red is the way it displays and handles generational trauma as a subject. For those who don't know, generational trauma is trauma that is passed down through your family. It's typically like if your parent struggled with something in their childhood, maybe they then reflect those feelings or that behavior onto you. Without realizing that they're doing so. It's been a really common theme in a lot of recent animated films. And in Turning Red, the trauma is visualized through the shift that May has between her human form and her red panda form. So May's mother's like super strict, super rigid with her expectations for her daughter, and when May starts to stray from those expectations is when her red panda shows up. The difference between May and her mother is their personal relationships with their pandas. All of the women in this family in the movie have this red panda that shows up about this time whenever they start to have that like self-exploration phase of their life, right? May's mother, grandmother, great mother, all of you get the idea. They all undergo this ritual that seals their pandas away from them, which is basically, in my opinion, metaphor for, bottling up your emotions and bottling up things that you don't want to necessarily deal with. In Turning Red, when it comes time for May's panda ritual, she reflects on all the moments she had in her panda form that brought her more happiness and joy than she was used to having, And then ultimately she decides to keep her panda form and learn to coexist with that side of herself rather than push it away like her family had always done before her. Overall, this story is super fun. Animation is really nice to look at, and there are plenty of moments where I found myself laughing out loud. This Poss is giving Turning Red a level 7 Scream on the Scream scale. That's kind of all I had for this first intro of Miles on movies.
Right. All right, well, thanks, Miles. What are you going to review for us next week?
Yes, I'm going to be seeing The Bad Guys, which I know a lot of people are super looking forward to, and I'm also looking forward to watching it. And I'm very excited to talk about it and see if it lives up to the hype that I feel like the community has been putting on it.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you hearing you next week. And with that was Miles on Movies with your movie maven, Miles Opossum. Well, that's kind of awesome. He's going to review the Bad Guys next week, so I look forward to that. That's going to be fun.
We'll look forward. We'll look.
Foo-foo-fa-doo.
Help, I'm having a stroke. Please help.
All right, upcoming events. As we are well aware, we've talked about several of these beforehand, so we're going to run right in there.
Run.
Yeah, we've got April 29th through May 2nd is Furry Weekend Holland in Castile de Burgt, Barrio, Netherlands. Furry Weekend Atlanta, of course, is coming up May 5th through the 9th in Atlanta Marriott Marquis in Atlanta, Georgia. FurCon New Zealand is taking place May 20th through the 23rd at Forest Lakes Camping and Conference Center in Otaki, New Zealand. Meffit MiniCon 2022 is taking place May 26th through the 29th at the DJH Jung. Oh, I have a hard time saying this all the time. Jungen Herberg Freusberg Kirchen Sieg in Germany. There we go. That's what typed up I'm a Klinka last week. So was that? Yeah. Anthro, Ohio is taking place May 27th through the 29th at the Crown Plaza, Columbus North in Worthington, Columbus, Ohio.
We talked about this last time. There's like a lot of things there.
There's a lot of things there. Same weekend in Portland, Oregon is Furlandia. So there was a chat going on. Somebody was trying to understand why it was called Furlandia.
Oh,
do you know?
really?
Do you know why it's called Furlandia?
I have my thoughts.
What are your thoughts?
Because of Portlandia?
That is correct.
Okay,
ding,
my
ding,
thoughts
ding.
were correct.
You win. Yes.
Yay, I did something.
Yay! And the following weekend after Furlandia, if you missed Furlandia and you want to go to a con, go to the Biggest Little Fur Con in Reno, Nevada at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. Why'd I start talking like that? I don't know.
Because it moved to Texas all of a sudden. And
now it's in Reno,
you can't
Nevada.
go to Reno, you have to go to Texas now.
Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex. So are there any of these that you just listed, Bearly? Mm-hmm. Are there any of these that you ever wanted to go to?
I would like to go to Furry Weekend Atlanta sometime, just because. And then I
hear it's a really good con, actually.
Yeah, and then we are going to go to Biggest Little Fur Con. Those are the ones that I would go to.
Okay.
I mean, if I could get to Holland, I'd go to Holland, but
Yeah. Maybe you have to get there via progress and disposed first. That's why it's hard to get there.
Yes. And finally, this is kind of serious right now. And finally, lately, there's been a spate of information coming out about...
What is a spate? Let us know what that is first.
That's like a large amount.
A large amount. Okay, good.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Spate of information coming out about how furries behave at conventions, such as like Rainfurst, PizzaCon, not Lux's thing at BLFC, but the thing that happened last year at the PizzaCon. If you don't know it, look it up. And lately, Motor City FurCon and Sin City MerCon. The issue isn't how furries behave in public, although I have seen personally some rather raunchy behavior on the dance floors and in the lobbies of hotels, but more about how they behave in their various hotel rooms and the reputation that they are portending to the general public, and that is putting forth to the general public.
So they're tending very poor.
Poor tending, yes. With all the oddly specific attention that is being foisted on our fandom. Could you tell I use a lot of big words when writing this article?
Yes, I was just saying foisting.
Yes, which are being foisted on our fandom. We tend to be our own worst enemy when it comes to these type of things. Wrecking hotel rooms and leaving them a mess used to be in the realm of rock stars and drunken Shriners, but lately, furries are in the spotlight. There has been speculation that there may be an effort from non-furries to infiltrate conventions and make it seem as if furries did the damage. But this is not yet proven. So as of now, we can safely infer that the things being done are being done by furries. Please, if you are hearing this, I implore you to be a better furry. Be respectful of others and others' property. A hotel is another's property. Even though you're paying to be there, you're not entitled to damage the room or place the staff in situations that could affect their health and well-being. So furs, if you really want to continue to have cons at nice places, we need to collectively be cognizant of the bad behaviors of some and be self-policing to rid our fandom of these bad seeds. And now, it's time for math.
After all of yay! Let's end that little truth. It's a very truth thing. So every fur be good. Don't do that. But let's end and let's move into math, I guess. Mm-hmm. And this math is actually very, very, very short.
Oh, short math. It's like a short bath.
It is, and it's
is
one
it in
where
progress?
It's if you travel. If you travel to the right city, there's a country up there named Indigenous. And so if you're indigenous. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, I just thought it would be just appropriate just to end Math Awareness Month by just saying how it came to be, really shortly, nice and sweet and concise, which is not what I do, which is not what I'm doing in leading up to. I can't do anything. Let me just do it.
Can't do anything simply, can you?
No, I can't. I can't. Okay, I'm just going to read it, and we'll be done with it.
Okay, so, you go, girl.
Bark. So, as I said, April is Math Awareness and Statistics Month. Awareness Month. So, Math Awareness and Statistics Month began in 1986 as Mathematics Awareness Week with a proclamation by President Ronald Reagan, who said, in part, despite the increasing importance of mathematics to the progress of our economy and society, enrollment in mathematics programs has been declining at all levels of the American educational system. Yet, the application of mathematics is indispensable in such diverse fields as medicine, computer science, space exploration, the skilled trades, business, defense, and government. To help encourage the study and utilization of mathematics, it is appropriate that all Americans be reminded of the importance of this basic branch of science to our daily lives. And that was a proclamation by Ronald Reagan, April 17th, 1986. And hence began Math Awareness Week. And this is proliferated into April being Math Awareness and Math and Statistics Awareness Month. So, yay, math and statistics. And
yay!
There's my math for the week.
Well, you're right. That was a short bath math. So there we are.
Not a short bath math, but a short bath math.
Short bath math. Well, all bath mats are short. They're not. If you're too tall, you wouldn't be able to stand on them.
If you were too tall, you'd be I was going to do something, but that didn't work, so never mind.
All right. So I've asked Furs to send in jokes. And
you did.
I did. And I have several jokes from listeners. And again, any full-time listener is going to know that these are like the same guys all the time that send in stuff. Captain Archer sent this one in. How long does a jousting match last?
I don't know, Bearly. How long does a jousting match last?
Until nightfall.
Oh! I did tell my honey that one, and he liked it.
Yep. Ziggy sends in this one. Two guys are playing chess, and one says to the other, how about we make this more interesting? So they stopped playing chess.
Oh! I am in a chess chat, and maybe I should put it there, and I would not be in that chat anymore.
Right. Patrick, this is a new person. Patrick sends in, did you hear about the computer hacker that was able to avoid law enforcement?
No, I didn't.
I heard the way he did it was that he ran somewhere.
Oh, now I get it. I read that and I'm like, what? But no, that's awesome.
Now you hear it, you ran somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Patrick, thank you for that.
That's right. Yeah. And if you would like us to read your joke on the air, DM me, which stands for direct messaging, in case somebody doesn't know that by now, in the BFFT chat in Telegram. Well, when I first got on Telegram, I thought these things as DM me. I'm like, what the heck does that mean?
Danger Mouse?
Danger Mouse. Here I come to save the day. No, that wasn't Danger Mouse. That was, who was that? Oh, that was Mighty Mouse. That's who
Mighty
that was.
Mouse, yeah.
Mighty Mouse.
But yes, thank you, Captain Archer, Ziggy, Patrick. Shout out to all of you. I did like every single one of those. I give them pauses up for those. So maybe every week when we do this, I'll give them a pauses up, a pauses middle, or a pauses down.
Medial.
So maybe there's 4 levels. I do. Exactly. So maybe I do a pauses up, a pauses middle, a pauses medial, or a pauses down. 4 levels. So all you furs, you want to get the pause. Every fur this week got the pauses up.
Okay, pauses up. All right. I'm going to end today's episode with some trivia questions for you, Sir Taebyn.
Let's see if I know anything.
Yes. So this first one comes from the game I Should Have Known That.
Oh, yay.
And
cool.
I'm going to ask you, who famously lived at 221B Baker Street in London?
I actually feel like I know this one.
Yes.
But since it's not on the tip of the top of my puppy tongue, I will just have to puppy my way. Oh my cow. Puppy logic my way through this.
Okay.
So, tell me the address again.
221B Baker Street.
So, if you're Clark Kent, you be making bacon because you're too good for the 21 times that you did that. And so Superman comes along and say, hey, don't be taking my bacon, yo. No. So he takes the bacon home to his house. And he starts frying it up and everything. And then he's making an egg sandwich because egg sandwich and bacon, that sounds really good. So then he goes over, he feels bad. He goes back to Clark Kent and says, hey, who's that chicky yo that you're all in love with? And he says, oh, I forgot she works at the newspaper and everything. And so then Superman says, oh, now I know the answer to the puzzle. The answer is SpongeBob SquarePants.
No, SpongeBob SquarePants lives in a pineapple under the sea.
Oh! Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants!
Oh, that's right.
The famous person that lived at 221B Baker Street was Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, I did know that. I did. I went the wrong way.
You went the wrong way.
Not correct.
So you've probably seen a James Bond movie at some point in your illustrious career, correct?
In my illustrious, my illustrious fur has partook in such things.
Right. Do you remember who the author of the books are?
I'm gonna have to say Betty White.
No, that would be Ian Fleming. Fleming. Circle
okay.
gets
I mean,
the
Betty
square.
White's done like everything, so I figured it would probably be her.
Now you should know this one because you're a musical fur. And what city did Jim Morrison die in and was buried in?
Oh, I do. At one point, this pup did know this. Any fur out there? I'm sure all you furs out there know. Help me. Okay, my puppy senses are tingling. They're listening to you're telling me. Atlanta.
Well, no, it's in Paris.
Oh, that's a long way away from Atlanta.
It's a long, long way to go from Atlanta.
All you furs led me astray right there. I am now a stray pup.
All right, and the final question. You've flown on a plane before. I know you have, right?
I have.
This is kind of a sciencey question.
Oh.
Why do passenger aircrafts fly at an altitude of 32,000 feet or higher?
There's one point I actually knew the answer to this, but I don't know now.
Okay.
So it has to do with pressure.
Yes.
Of the air on the pepper jack cheese. That's my answer.
Well, it's you're close. You're very, very close. The air is thinner up there, and there's less resistance. So therefore, it uses less fuel, and they fly more efficiently.
And
at those
therefore,
heights.
they can be more efficient in eating of the pepper jack cheese. Okay, it totally makes sense.
Correct.
Now. Totally makes sense.
Yes, absolutely,
Nice.
absolutely. Well, Sir Taebyn, today was a great show. It was a short show,
I hear
which
the
is
music.
good because last week's show was really long.
Yeah, it's
so,
probably okay that we were
so it's
sort
good
of
that we're a little short this week, which is fine. We have a few more segments. We have a new staff member. We learned a lot of things
Woohoo.
today, and I know I'm looking forward to our new season. I'm looking forward to our
Great.
trip to Reno. I'm looking forward to my new podcast that I'm going to do with a couple
Bearly,
of puppies.
what is your
Yes.
new... Oh, you just said it, but okay.
Well, it's going to be with a couple of puppies.
Okay.
It's called Off Leash.
Okay.
Off Leash. And it's an adult-only podcast. So if you are under the age of 18, do not listen to that podcast. Do not listen to that podcast.
All menacing
No.
like I did when I talked about your
Yes.
kilt chat.
Yes. And I'm looking forward to the future.
And
Looking
when
forward to the
do we
future.
have a release date on your new podcast? Literally,
Yes,
podcast, Bearly.
The literal podcast will be dropping tomorrow, right after this one. It will be dropping on the 1st of May.
Oh, nice, nice.
Hooray, hooray! The 1st of May, outdoor
Blay, blay,
fucking
blay.
starts today.
And that's
what my,
okay.
It's like, yeah, that's. I'm
And
not
Bobby
gonna,
Flay, who lives today to make the cheddar cheese not go away because he puts it in the pork. I don't know.
in the pork or in the fondue. Goes in the fondue.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. Be sure to help to support the show through Ko-Fi or Patreon and order merch through Bonfire. And remember, when everything is said and done, stay furry to the Moobarkfluff. And what say you, Taebyn, as your parting words?
Parting. Well, I have to say thank you, all you furs, for listening to our first episode of season 3. It's been we've been starting out, and it's great, and we've been doing this, 2 years barely. Can you believe that? Every week for 2 years. Crazy.
We are insane, yes.
What's even crazier is you're starting yet another podcast.
Yes. Even crazier, as you might say, yes.
On so many levels. But yes, thank you all you first for listening. It means a lot to us. You're supporting us just by listening. We hope we've entertained for long-term listeners that have been there since, even in season 1 anywhere. If you've been listening since then, you are amazing. That you must be masochistic, but still, you're amazing to be so. And no, we love you so much for it. It's so great. Can't wait to bark at ya. We'll do a live pupcast at a BLFC and cons. So until then, we hug you virtually typed with pauses. And until next time, I say Moobarkfluff, bark, bark.
Bearly Furcasting is an Injured Nerve studio production and is found on all major podcast platforms or can be heard directly at bearlyfurcasting.com. The opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and their guests, and no commercial compensation was granted. The Furcast is produced, recorded and directed by Bearly Normal, aka Mike Began, and is edited by Bearly and our associate editor Rain Raccoon. This week's interview was edited by Rain Raccoon. Opening and closing theme music, as well as some interstitial music, was created for Injured Nerves Productions for the use on the podcast by Reg Day with Damian Tanuki. If you would like to hear more music by Reg Day, you can search for Tweezerbeak on Bandcamp or Hoop Loop Tunes on SoundCloud. Other interstitial and background music by Shane Ivers through silvermansound.com, Gator Tots on soundcloud.com, and the YouTube Free is Library. Movie reviews are written by, and the opinion of the reviewer, Miles Opossum. Social media presences is maintained by Ziggy the Mean Weasel. Transformation Station is written and directed by Lux Operon with Rain Raccoon and is edited by Rain Raccoon. If you would like to send us a message, you can do so via email at bearlyfurcasting@gmail.com or on our Telegram chat at BFFT Chat, on Twitter, on our Facebook page, or on the bearlyfurcasting.com webpage. You can help support the show through donations at ko-fi.com/bearlyfurcasting or through Patreon at patreon.com/bearlyfurcasting. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back and listen next week.